Shalom. In Numbers 25, the Creator commanded Moshe, harass the Midianites and strike them because of the scheme executed at Shittim. A seduction that costs 24,000 lives. Command was given. Numbers 31 is the fulfillment. But before Moshe commissions the army, the Creator says something to him that sets the entire chapter in its deepest context. Verse 2, take vengeance for the children of Israel on the Midianites. Afterward you shall be gathered to your people. Moshe is too old. After this war, you will die. And Moshe does not hesitate. He does not ask for an extension. He does not negotiate. He immediately commissions an army of 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 men total, and sends Pinchas the priest with them, carrying the holy instruments and the trumpets of alarm. Right, Numbers 31. Welcome to Torah Sax Studio, Torah study with saxophone worship, verse by verse, the scripture. Numbers 31 is one of the longest chapters in Bamidbar. A detailed account of the war against Midian, the return of the army, the purification process, and a precise accounting of every person, animal, and object taken as plunder. The chapter has 5 movements: commission and the battle in verses 1 to 12, return and Moshe's response in verses 13 to 24, purification law in verses 19 to 24, the accounting of plunder in verses 25 to 47, and the commander's free will offering in verses 48 through 54. Like and subscribe, because Numbers 31 has a word for every person who has ever seen the Creator's justice executed with precision and wondered what faithfulness looks like when there is no delay between the command and its fulfillment. We're going to look at verses 1 through 12. The Creator speaks to Moshe, take vengeance for the children of Israel on the Midianites. Afterward you shall be gathered to your people. Moshe speaks to the people. Arm some of yourselves with war and let them go against Midian, the Creator's vengeance on Midian. 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for war. Moshe sends them to the war, and Pinchas the son of Elazar, the priest, with the holy instruments, clean HaKodesh, and the trumpets sounding in his hand. Pinchas is not sent as a general, he's sent as a priest. The sacred instruments and the trumpets, battle is framed from the beginning as a priestly engagement, not merely a military one. Sacred instruments go into the field. They warred against Midian as the Creator commanded Moshe and killed every male. The 5 kings of Midian fell: Evi, Rechem, Sur, Shur, and Reva. And Bilam ben Beor they killed with the sword. The children of Israel took captive the women, and children of Midian, the livestock, all the animals, and all the goods. They burned the cities and the encampments and took all the plunder back to Moshe and Elazar. The decision to send Pinchas the army and to specify that he carried the holy instruments and the trumpet is one of the most theologically loaded details in Numbers 30. The war against Midian is not described as a punitive military operation alone. It is a priestly action. The man who acted with zeal for the covenant at Shittim and received the covenant of Shalom now carries the secret instruments of the tabernacle into the field of battle. The worship apparatus and the warfare apparatus are brought together in one person. The death of Bilam ben Beor is recorded in verse 8 with elaboration, simply that he was killed with a sword. Bilam, who could not curse Israel with his mouth, swore all parties became blessings. The counsel to Bilam produced the Shittim seduction. He is killed in the same battle that avenges that seduction. Numbers 31 closes a circle that began in Numbers 22. The prophet hired to destroy Israel dies in the war that Israel fights as a consequence of his own counsel. Numbers 31 establishes a principle about commanded action. When the Creator gives a command and specifies who shall lead it, the priestly presence in the battle is itself part of the action's integrity. Pinchas was not just the most zealous person available, he was the covenantal design representative, the one whose hands had already acted in the Creator's zeal at Shittim. Numbers 31 says, the right person executed a commanded action, bring a secret integrity to the engagement that a merely qualified person cannot. In the commissioned actions of your life, are you bringing the right person's spirit or just a feeble person? Pinchas didn't go to war as a general, he went as a priest, with all instruments and the trumpets. Battle was framed as a priestly engagement from the beginning. Number 31 says, when the Creator commissions an action, the who matters as much as the what. The right person brings a sacred integrity that availability alone cannot supply. All right, now verses 13 to 18. Now Moshe's response when the army returns. Moshe, Elazar, and the leaders of the congregation goes to meet the returning army at the edge of camp. Moshe is angry with the officers of the army, commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds. Have you kept all the women alive? Verse 16. Look, these women caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Bilam to trespass against the Creator in the matter of pure, and there was a plague among the congregation of the Creator. Here the Torah explicitly identifies what Numbers 31:16 calls the counsel of Bilam. The advice Bilam gave Balak after the four oracles failed, the strategic seduction plan that produced the shittim incident of Numbers 25. Bilam could not curse Israel with his mouth, but he advised Balak on how to get Israel to destroy itself from the inside. Moshe gives further instructions about who shall live and who shall not. The chapter then moves to purification. Numbers 31:16 is one of the most civic and explanatory verses in all of the Bamidbar. It explicitly identifies the source of the shittim seduction as Bilam's counsel to Balaam. The reader of Numbers 22 through 25 has followed Bilam through the oracles and then seen his fall at shittim. The text explicitly connecting the two events. Numbers 31:16 makes the connection explicit. Women of Midian and Shittim were sent according to Bilam's strategic advice to Balaam after the oracle campaign failed. This is what Bilam's death in verse 8 carries the weight. It does. This is why. He is not killed as a random enemy combatant. He is killed as the architect of the strategy that cost 24,000 Israelites their lives. The man whose counsel turned the failed curse into a successful seduction. The four oracles that came out of his mouth were blessings he could not control. The counsel he gave privately was his own, and he did the damage the artist would not. Number 31:16 teaches that what a person cannot accomplish openly, they may attempt covertly. Bilam could not curse Israel from the mountain. He advised seduction from the tent. The Torah is not fooled by the distinction. Overt counsel that produces the same destruction as the overt attack carries the same weight of accountability. Numbers 31 closes Bilam's account with the same sword he aim. In your discernment of those who come against covenant, are you as attentive to the counsel given privately as you are to the attacks being launched publicly? Bilam couldn't curse Israel from the mountain, so he advised Balak how to seduce them from the inside. Numbers 31:16 names it. The counsel of Bilam produced the plague of Shittim. Numbers 31 closes his account with the sword. What a person cannot do openly, they may attempt covertly. The Torah always holds the same. Now the purification law and the counting in verses 19 through 47. Purification first. Verse 19. Anyone who killed a person or touched a slain body shall remain outside the camp 7 days. Purify yourselves and your captives on the third day and the seventh day. Also purify every garment, every object made of leather, goat hair, or wood. Process for metals, pass through fire, then immerse in water. What cannot pass through fire? Immerse in water. This is the Torah's explicit law of purification from corpse, impurity applied to warfare. The soldiers who won the battle must spend 7 days outside the camp before re-entering. Victory does not exempt from purification. Now they are counting. The exact numbers. Sheep and goats, 675,000. After the soldiers, that is 337,500. Greatest portion from the soldiers half, 675 sheep. Cattle, 72,000. After the soldiers, that's 36,000. And the greatest portion, 72. Donkeys, 61,000 total. Half is 30,500. And the greatest portion is 61. Persons, 32,000 total. Half to the soldiers, 16,000, greatest portion. Congregations half goes to the Levites, 1 in 50 from every category. Every number is exact. Every category is counted. Every portion is calculated to the unit. Counting in Numbers 31, verses 25 to 47, one of the most precise passages in all of Bamidbar. Torah does not say roughly 675 votes. It says 675 votes exactly, with the greatest portion of 675 calculated to the unit. Precision serves a theological function. When the Creator's commanded action produces plunder, every part of that plunder is accounted for and a portion consecrated back to the Creator before the rest is distributed. Nothing is assumed, nothing is approximate, nothing is pocketed without accounting. The division between soldiers and congregation equal halves establishes a principle about the distribution of covenant victory. Those who stayed with the camp and maintained the community while the soldiers fought share equally in what the battle produced. Soldiers get the first half, the congregation gets the second. 1 in 50 from the congregation's share goes to the Levites. 1 in 500 from the soldiers' share goes to the priest. Every level of Israel's structure participates in the accounting and the consecration. The accounting of Numbers 31 carries a principle about covenant victory. What the Creator produces through commanded action belongs to Him in proportion for it belongs to anyone else. The soldiers could not simply distribute plunder informally. It was counted, divided, and consecrated according to the Creator's own specification. Numbers 31 asks, when the Creator produces victory in your life in any domain, is there an accounting? Is there a proportion returned to Him before the rest is distributed? 675,000 sheep, 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, 32,000 persons. Every number counted to the unit. Portion consecrated back to the Creator from every category before anyone else received a share. Numbers 31 says, covenant victory comes with an accounting. What the Creator produces through commanded action belongs to Him first. Now, the officer's free will offering. Verse 49. And this is the closing and most moving moment of Numbers 31. Officers who were over thousands of the army, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds came to Moshe. They have done their own accounting. Your servants have taken account of the men of war who are under your command, and not one man of us is missing. 12,000 went out, 12,000 returned. The commanders are not reporting a military statistic, they are reporting something they understand as a covenantal reality. The Creator brought back every man back. Not one is missing, and the response to this is not a victory celebration. It is an offering. Therefore, we have brought an offering for the Creator, but every man found of articles of gold, armlets, bracelets, signet rings, earrings, and necklaces, to make atonement for ourselves before the Creator. A free will offering of gold, 16,750 shekels in total, and that's in verse 52. Not required by the law of plunder division, not commanded by Moshe. A spontaneous act by the commanders, not one of our men is missing, and we bring gold to the Creator in response. Moshe and Elazar took the gold from the commanders and brought it to the tabernacle of meeting as a memorial for the children of Israel before the Creator. Not one missing, and the gift that follows. The commanders report in verse 49, not one man of us missing, is theologically extraordinary. 12,000 Israelite soldiers went to war against Midian, defeated 5 kings, killed Bilam, and returned the entire force intact. There records no Israelite casualties. The commanders who have done it, the count themselves, understand that this outcome is not normal. Their immediate response is not to celebrate the scale, it is to bring an offering to the Creator and name it. Make atonement for ourselves before the Creator. The phrase to make atonement, the chapel, is the same used throughout the priesthood, the restoration of covenant standing. The commanders did not bring the gold because they had sinned. They brought it because they had survived. Because not one man was missing. Because what happened on the battlefield was something that required acknowledgement before the Creator, rather than simply celebration among themselves. The gold they found on the battlefield, jewelry taken from Midian, they brought in its entirety to the tabernacle as a memorial. The commander's free will offering carries one of the most beautiful principles in Numbers 31. When the Creator brings you through without loss, the right response is not triumphalism but consecration. Not one man is missing, and they brought gold. It was not payment for the victory. It was the acknowledgement that the victory was not theirs to claim. Numbers 31 asks, when the Creator brings us through a season intact, not one thing missing, what do you bring? And to whom you bring it? 12,000 went out, 12,000 returned, not one man missing. The commanders counted and then came to Moshe, not to celebrate, to bring gold and say, we make atonement before the Creator. Numbers 31 says, when the Creator brings you through without love, the right response is not triumphalism, it is consecration. Numbers 31 is the command in the war that Moshe executed under the shadow of his own announced death. And the chapter that follows the battle with more precision and more consecration than triumph. Four things this chapter gives you. Pinchas led with secret instruments. The right person executing a commanded action brings a sacred integrity that mere availability cannot supply. When the Creator commissions something, the who matters as much as the what. Bilam's counsel knew what could not be done openly was attempted covertly. Numbers 31 identifies the counsel of Bilam as the source of the cheating seduction. The Torah holds covert arm, same standard as overt attack. The accounting 675,000 sheep, 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, 32,000 persons. Every unit counted, every category contributed to the situation. Covenant victory comes with an accounting. What the Creator produces belongs to Him first. Not one missing. 12,000 went out, 12,000 returned. Commanders counted and came forward, us to celebrate, to make atonement for the Creator. When the Creator brings you through without loss, the right response is consecration, not triumphalism. The question Numbers 31 leads you with. In the commissioned actions of your life, are you bringing the right person's spirit, doing the accounting, and returning the first portion to the Creator? Thank you for walking through Numbers 31. Definitely like, share, subscribe to Torah Student. And do not miss Numbers 32. 2.5 tribes asked for land east from the garden. And the condition Moshe says before them. Get it. Shalom.